Welcome, everybody, to the We Hate Anime podcast, the only anime podcast that is working with what it can.
That's a start.
This week, yeah, no, definitely. This week, Frog has a job that has miserable hours and miserable days off, and Moth couldn't record on Valentine's Day because, hey, that's fucking Valentine's Day.
True.
But joining me this week to fill in the void, so I'm not just talking to you, I have Tidu, with the YouTube channel Tiduidu and his great series doing like miniature little essays about video games.
Yeah, it's Tiduidus last minute essays. Jeez, there we go. My speech is starting to act up already. And you may also know me from such bangers as that one email to Castle Super Beast about Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, we're working with real star power here.
Yeah.
Not many people get to be read on the Castle Super Beast podcast.
That was like a complete fluke, but I knew like race baiting is going to work. Hey, guy got in.
if there's one way you're going to get on that podcast, it's either make Pat angry or race baiting. That's it.
That's true. I tried for years, and this is the first one, so this is a confirmed study.
I did it once. I sent an email to them exactly one time, and the next episode, they went on a rant about how every email they get shitty, and I was like, oh no, I can't.
What did you write about? What did you write about?
It was like 2015, I don't even remember. This is before the falling out even.
Oh yeah, okay, that's fair. Oh man, 2015. I think that's when I started watching them because they did a Nier Let's Play, and I was like, okay, maybe I will check this out, because I'm allergic to Let's Plays.
That Nier Let's Play is fantastic.
Yeah, love it. Right?
I feel like most modern Nier, like just Nier fans, never played the game, but that fucking Let's Play.
It's funny because I personally was like, I heard about the series before. I remember I read a preview of the series in a magazine, back when magazines even existed. So, and it said like, oh yeah, there is going to be a different version for Japan and for the West. And I thought, oh, that's cool. I'll check this out. And then I didn't have money and I forgot. And I bought it after Drakengard 3 came out because of Demo and his recommendation. I figured, hey, why not? It was so hard to get it. Jesus Christ. It only existed physically. I had to get it from UK. And then I sold it to an Italian guy because he had the same problems. And I thought it's a good deed.
Yeah, you when it comes to like, because I'm a huge fucking fan of niche video games. It's the PlayStation 2 is literally I like the PlayStation 1 aesthetically more.
Yeah, but the PS2 is the Ark of the Covenant. I agree.
Exactly, for just like weird, like the Atelier games that were on the fucking PS2 are just fucking nuts, weird fucking games, and that's just like the fucking tiny little nugget. Like God. But like, when it comes to those really fucking weird ones that no one's heard of, when you find someone who wants to play it, you want to fucking spread that wealth, dude. I totally get it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's weird because like, Gestalt is a PS3 game, but it feels like a PS2 game, honestly. I remember when I was playing it, I was like, wow, I feel nostalgic for my teenage, but this feels like a PS2 game in all the good and bad ways at the same time.
It feels like a PS2 game and looks like a bad PS3 game.
yeah, exactly.
And the remake, recently they had that gameplay footage come out, and now it looks like a good PS3 game, and it looks like it plays like a PS4 game.
Honestly, they could just dump ISO file and have it playable on PC, and I would be happy. Just the fact that it's preserved.
That's actually, like, here's the deal. I'm super happy that they're updating the gameplay because, oh man, that gameplay is real bad.
Yeah.
I bought, okay, here's the deal. I bought Nier the original off of, do you know X-Play is?
No, I haven't heard of him.
So X-Play is there's this channel in America, and Canada called G4, or it used to be. And X-Play was their video game review show.
Oh yeah, I think you and Nicole talked about this recently. But
yeah.
Not something I watched.
Well, they did a review of Nier, and they gave it like a fucking 2 or 3 out of 5.
Oh, fuck you. Oh, out of 5.
But when
3 is acceptable.
Still bad. They're super super normie, but they show like visuals of what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I can see, and this doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. Like they stopped existing in 2010, but I can see when they did a review of a game, I could see if that's a game I'd want to play.
Yeah.
I looked at this and I was like, wow, everything looks like it's smeared in Vaseline and there's a weird vignetting on every cutscene. I love it.
Oh, that's good. I remember when it comes to Automata, Nier Automata, in 2015, for the first time in my life, actually, I had the time and space to watch E3 live because I was a college student back then. So, hey, what's pulling an all-nighter because it was like 3 a.m. in here?
Yeah.
Because I'm in Poland, to anyone that doesn't know. And I remember I was watching the Square Enix show expecting fucking nothing because they already showed Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1. And then I saw Platinum Games. Okay, that's cool. Oh, the music guy from Nier. That's amazing. Wait, Yoko Taro. Wait. Yeah. And nobody clapped and I hate that entire audience.
It fucking, like, when I saw that, like, I had the exact same response as you. When no one had, like, when there was no pop-off, I was like, this man's about to change the landscape of media. And you guys just looking blankly. Fuck you guys.
Like everyone, damn, they announced Shenmue 3 Final Fantasy. Who fucking cares?
Shit, there was a huge pop-off for Shenmue 3!
Yeah, those were weird times, weren't they?
Oh my god.
6 years ago.
Fuck, I hate the average person who consumes media. You're all terrible, you're bad, you're immoral human beings.
Why, thank you. We know.
Man, so you have a YouTube channel.
Correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about what that is?
Well, the channel is called Tiduidus Last Minute Essays because I figured I'm going to be cute with the fact I never do more than a first draft. And it's basically decided, hey, I have all these runs, I have brewing, but nobody is reading anything longer than a Twitter thread, and Twitter thread is horrible at conveying ideas, so I guess it's time to bite the bullet and buy a microphone and start a YouTube channel. And at first, it was purely because I wanted to shield Pathologic too. Because that game, as a little caveat here, amazing game, go play it, one of my all-time favorites, completely fucking murdered by its own publisher, because they gave the game no marketing, and all the press it got on release was like, oh, this feels like budget Skyrim, and it adheres to the Dark Soulsian heart is good philosophy. And the first, I think, good press that was really notable was from Mandalore Gaming, who did it 3 months after release, and not because he wanted to, it was because he broke his fucking back in the meantime between the game's release and his video. So I thought I'm going to start with that. I actually started with a video about Disco Elysium, because that game also wowed me. Great game. Since then, I got a better microphone. Don't watch these 2 videos. Don't watch the Pathologic one. It's remade. The old one is delisted. But I decided, hey, I've got this rolling. I actually enjoy it. The people don't instantly tell me to shut up. So why not? So I started talking about, different media. For now, it's just tabletop games, tropes, game mechanics. I have some anime, topically, videos lined up, but I still have like 2 in the pipeline before that with video games, but I do want to talk about stuff like Lane or Utena or some other stuff.
Yeah, I'll probably actually watch both of those before you actually release a video on them, because I haven't watched either of those, surprisingly enough.
I watched Utena last week and I was blown away. It's like, it shows its age that it's a 90s anime made by JC stuff, because holy shit, they reuse so much footage. But if it wasn't for that, it would be a 12. As it is, it's a 10, so.
Hey, JC Staff, they might reuse shit like it's going out of style, but man, the stuff they reuse is shot really well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, the same energy as Sailor Moon. I saw this 1,000 times. I can watch 1,001. Let's sit here. Let's not skip it.
It's like at some point it just starts getting comforting whenever there's that level of repetition where you're like, oh yeah, I can just enjoy this for a minute. I've already analyzed it in my brain. My brain can shut off slightly.
Yeah, well, I know where the story is heading now. That this is like advertisement spot. I can go make some tea for a minute.
Like every single time you triggered Knights of the Round Table in the original Final Fantasy VII. Oh, okay, I'm gonna go make a sandwich. Are you dead yet? No? Fuck.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, but that's really cool. I just want to like specifically say like your video on the philosophy in Nier Automata, like that's my favorite video of yours, hands down. I fucking love that video. I've watched it at least twice so far. Like, it's just so, cause fucking the philosophy in Nier Automata, it's so on the nose, but people are stupid.
It's not even that they're stupid. I think that just, the level of, philosophical teaching right now is like, oh yeah, it's the thing you do when you're drunk and have some thoughts about life. And there is a lot of history. A lot of it is total bullshit. Spoiler, I'm a philosophy major. But when you have the level of understanding that I do have, oh god, this sounds pretentious, you learn that it is not smart people saying smart things about life. It's an eternal knife fight between people, and I love it. And, Taro, at the very least, skimmed Wikipedia and included all these references and all the ideas he thought was interesting in the context of the game and what it touches upon. And for that very reason, I respect Automata like 7 notches more than something like Bioshock Infinite or something, where people will splurge their pants about how it's philosophical and existential. I'm sitting there, they're like, okay. They don't know. Okay. But
like, I think that like that's where like so many people who played Nier Automata and just enjoyed it, like but are aware that there are philosophical references in there. They're the people that will be like, oh, this is a lot deeper than I think, and then like I'm not a philosophy major, but you can. It's not deeper than you think. It's very surface level, but very entertaining.
That's true. Also, I think it's just like as an entertainment product, it is a very good introduction. Like, oh, I wonder what's this about. Let's look for it. And now maybe that interests me and I'll go deep further. And then I actually read Hegel. That's the biggest mistake of my life. But
oh, what are you talking about? You don't love Hegelian dialectics?
I love people talking about Hegel. I don't like reading Hegel. He was an atrocious writer. Like,
to be fair, most people who write theories write like ass.
That is true. That is unfortunately. But I remember once I talked with you, it was, I think, Game Awards, and you said that this video on Automata didn't get any love, and I'm happy to say it's the 3rd most watched right now. It's still like 500 people saw it, but it's more than 100. I was really bummed when it came out and like nobody saw it because, oh, it's spoilers, I can't play it. It's like, it's the longest video made. Come on.
Yeah, that's specifically like when I look for longer videos to watch because I usually watch things while I'm doing other things. That's why I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
So when you dropped that and it was about Nier Automata, I was like, oh, this is because this is when I was still new to your YouTube channel. I had been following you on Twitter for a while, but like I had only watched, I think, your Pathologic video. And I still wasn't sure because, like, I'm pretty wary about YouTubers because all of us are trash. We're all bad people.
That is true.
But when you dropped that, I was like, okay, you have that soothing fucking voice. You have that fucking Polish energy that I enjoy out of YouTubers like Thor High Heels.
You can hear the squatting.
Yeah, I can practically smell the cigarettes on your breath.
Oh. I mean, it's fair.
But yeah, I love that video. I'm glad that it's doing well because it's when someone, unless you're Philosophy Tube, if you're making a video about philosophy on the internet, most people don't fucking care.
Yeah, that's true. And as much as I enjoy some of the content by Philosophy Tube, sometimes it's like, do I really have an hour? Not really.
Yeah, she tends to fucking go. She's very fucking theatrical and long-winded, but It's fine. Like, very entertaining, very pop philosophy.
Yeah. As I said, it's a good introduction for sure as well. It's a way to internalize that material without actually engaging with it, and that's commendable, especially in the day and age when everything is online, but philosophers still refuse to write shorter or more concise.
But someone like me though, like I would pay you to do a fucking a 3-hour reading of The Conquest of Bread. Just to hear your voice just read it to me so I don't have to fucking read the boring words.
Hey, 800 more subs, we'll see. We need to do something.
1,000 sub goal, I'll read The Conquest of Bread. But here we hate anime. We are an anime podcast, unfortunately.
All right, yeah, fine.
And I do want to ask, what's your? Because you said you had some anime videos lined up that you're thinking about doing. What's your experience with anime?
Oh boy, that's a long one. Well, as pretty much anyone in Europe or especially in Poland can attest, every journey here starts with either Dragon Ball or Sailor Moon, because that's what we had on TV. I watched both, because of course. But of course you don't internalize that as anime back then. But when I was 13, 14-ish, my extremely nerdy cousins got into Naruto and said, "Hey, you want to read this while you're here?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Why do I read it right to left? Just read it." And from that was, that's pretty cool. I wonder if people online talk about it, and they did. And I was, do you guys recommend anything else? Yeah, there's this show airing right now. It's called Death Note. Why don't you watch that? And from that one, it was just a cascade.
Yeah, Death Note actually is pretty much like, it's very much a perfect introduction to that sub-layer underneath Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon, where it's like, it has more going on than both of those shows combined.
Yeah.
But also, it's still fantastical dumb bullshit.
Yeah. But, when you're 14, just the very context of, it's told from the perspective of a villain in a traditional, like, crime story, but also magic is like, whoa, this is the best thing ever.
Oh yeah,
I still love it.
When Light eats that fucking chip,
yeah, that's the hypest shit.
Dude, I remember. I was watching that with my girlfriend at the time over phone, because she lived a city away, and she was way more into it than I was. I had not reached my edgy phase. It took me until like I was 16 to reach that phase, but I still liked it. But she was like, "Oh, it's like this is how I feel inside." It's like, oh, okay,
no, that's a red flag right there, for sure.
Yeah, no.
I instantly thought it's told from the perspective of a villain. Cool. I had quite the proper upbringing.
Hey, villains. Okay, it just needs to be said. Villains are inherently more interesting than heroes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm living with a huge scar from Lion King stunning here, so.
Hell yeah, we all want to fuck that fucking lion.
Yeah, you do. I don't.
You'll come around. Enough submersion, spend enough time with furries, and suddenly you'll be questioning what you find attractive. That's all I'm saying.
I will say it's been years. I'm still holding cap. My resolve will not be broken.
Well, what's some anime that you have been watching recently? Like any newer shows?
Any what? Sorry.
Sorry, I lost breath right at the end of that sentence. Have you been watching any newer shows?
Well, I'm not really a seasonal person, but I am watching Attack on Titan last season ongoing, because I have a history with that series where I watched season 1 when it finished, and it was like, yeah, okay, that's cool. I watched season 2 and it was like, okay, this is getting interesting. I watched season 3 and I was like, okay, final season, I'm watching ongoing. There was no way back. And I do know you dropped it, right? From what I've heard.
Yeah, season 4 is just real not good.
Yeah.
It sucks, dude, because I know the contents is really fantastic. I read up to the dirigible escape in the manga after season 4 came out and it was bad. I was like, I want to read the manga. Unfortunately, the art in the manga still not. I mean, it's just there's no perfect way to watch season 4. You either watch
Isayama's art is very specific. That is true. You either love it or hate it. I'm ambivalent on it, quite honestly.
It's definitely better than like early Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah.
But like, there's still some really oddly janky off-model moments.
Yeah, I appreciate the resolve of the guy that he like started his debut 10 years ago. It was an instant banger. He's still going. He's about to finish it on the note he wanted. And it's like, yeah, hell yeah, dude. I am ongoing with manga as well. I started reading it like 3 weeks ago, and I finished it in that time as well.
Yeah, no, I respect the hustle of anyone who gets in and gets out. Like, whenever there are a lot of people that in the industry who feel the need to like extend their series longer than they need to, and it leads to like really just ass, like Bleach, like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Like, quite honestly, I was never a fan of Bleach. I never got why everyone does say so. It's a part of the big three. It was like the Soul Society arc was cool, but everything after that is.
Yeah, that's the moment. Literally, the moment the Soul Society arc ends is the moment when it just becomes mid to bad.
Yeah, at least the clothing was cool.
Yeah, it has the reason Bleach had like maintained its popularity and still is pretty popular is because it had style. Like Tite Kubo, that man can design a character.
That's true.
Can't draw a background though.
Look, sometimes all you need is white. That's all you need. And some calligraphy.
They're fighting in a field of... Like, here's the deal. When Fujimoto can't draw a background, he'll just set his entire story in a snowscape, and it'll make sense. Oh, fuck, man. I love Tite Kubo. Tite Kubo, great character designs. Like, he did the character designs for the main cast in the most recent Soccer Wars game.
Oh. I was about to say, why don't you work as a character designer for a VN? Shit, I have to play Soccer Wars still.
He found his calling, but unfortunately that game isn't popular, so I doubt we're going to get the rest of them when the series continues.
I mean, yeah.
Good. That is actually... I like good light novel games. That is a good video game. Well... Okay, it's a good light novel video game. We'll say that. I can't believe... I am sorry to hear, though, that you enjoy Attack on Titan Season 4. I hope you get better soon.
Look, man, all I have to say is the CG is horrible, sometimes it's off model, but until you can get manga to have music and voice acting, I don't give a shit. Like, these two elements are stellar, and that's all I need in an adaptation most of the time. Berserk 2016 actually needed to go way and beyond to actually disappoint me. It needed that clank sound, and I was like, yeah, no.
Man, I was in hard cope for Berserk 2016.
Same.
Like, when I heard the metal clanging, I was like, oh, it's because it's a big metal sword. That's kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah, then you think, wait, is it hollow inside?
Oh god, I finished the entire, cause the, I don't know what people call that arc, but I've always called it the Tower of God arc.
Yeah.
That's my favorite arc.
It's I think one of the best in Berserk as well. In the manga, I remember I was reading it, and the moment when just Luke looks over his shoulder, and all the campfires in the camp are shaped into the brand of his cross. I was like, yo! The best fucking visual moment in the manga, hands down.
Oh, and then just to see, God, like the moments in the fucking anime, where like someone is in the air and then their model phases to a new model. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but honestly, the worst part about 2016, because 2017 is absolutely horrible. Or was it 2018? I don't care. The second season was absolute dog shit. I didn't even start that. I just saw the clips and enjoyed that. But in 2016, there were actually hype moments sometimes, especially when there's like a standoff and nobody moves and it's like a panel from the manga. That looked good.
Yeah, there were moments in that first season of that shit adaptation that were like, this is kind of good. Like whenever Guts escapes from the Catholic camp and he's being chased by like his inner demon.
Yeah.
And it visually was super great. And then it's still in a shit show.
And then you look they're still using pencils for shading.
Yeah. Man, the fact that the original Berserk anime is pretty good, but the fact that there's not the best Berserk anime blows my fucking brain off.
Honestly, the original Berserk anime is the best anime, but the caveat is always, but it's just the golden age, right? And it also changes up some stuff. And then the movies came out and they were also watchable. That's where I ended.
They're exactly watchable, and that's it. And they should be a lot more than that, because there's so many moments of promise when you watch those movies, and you're like, oh, this could get really good, and then it's just a little bit of a letdown. So you're just like, okay, that was fine.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no characters that shift into new models.
That's peak of animation. Honestly, I still can do that in Vegas, so hey, they're better than me.
That is fair. I can't do what they do, and so I should stop criticizing them, because I will never I will never make anything as good as Berserk 2016. So who's to say?
Well, one of these days I'll get a 3D animation studio like Blender or something. I'll take 2 models from a game and I'll try and
you'll anamorphs them.
Yeah, just to have a comparison point. If I make something that looks better, I'll be like, okay, fuck you.
You give them the benefit of the doubt until the exact moment, with no knowledge, you do something better.
Yeah.
I like that approach. That is a fantastic way to approach it, because for example, you got that X-Arm anime that's new for this season. Those people literally started with zero knowledge to make an anime.
So I've heard.
If we can start at zero knowledge and do something better than that, then we can criticize it. But everyone's got to start somewhere. It's just that most people, when they start somewhere, they don't get to make it. They put it in the trash. That's experience.
Yeah. With X-Arm though, I feel like this had some potential. Hear me out here, because it's the case of using all the worst resources for the worst thing. Because we have a great action director and a great mock-up team. Okay, so how do we translate that into animation? Oh, we'll make 3D models and just put them on mocap, and that's not how direction works.
Declaring war on the science fiction series of the world.
I mean, hey, look, I don't have a comparison point, actually, never mind.
The only comparison you can make to X-Arm is Berserk 2016. It's the only thing that's remotely comparable. And X-Arm is still worse.
You know what? Yeah, we have to admit, for all Berserk 2016 faults, at least facial expressions had more than one bone.
They didn't even monitor, okay, lip flaps, fine. Still stupid, but fine. The fact that the eyes don't emote. One of my favorite clips, it was the moment when I stopped watching the first episode because I never made it through it. But there's a moment where, in the first 5 minutes of the first episode, where the main character, who is a CG model, is lip flapping in front of his brother, who is deadpan fisheye just staring at the camera. And it's so impressively bad. I don't know what they're. And then in one of the most recent episodes, there was a moment where there was a bus that was going to hit a character, and they just dissolved it away. Like, it's the exact same effect as the character dissolving into the other model in Berserk 2016, except they replaced it with nothing.
My time has come. Be good to each other. Goodbye.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I gotta hand it to you, Tidu. Fucking, you've dodged a bullet by jumping into video games and not the anime. It's...
Did I know?
Hey, the worst you're gonna get is people being like, well, actually, I like/don't like that game. I get people that make their personality the bad show that they watch.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's the worst.
Every single time I say anything vaguely negative about Black Clover, people who have the Clover emoji in their profile name are in my mentions for 2 days.
Oh god. That's horrible. I think the most backlash I ever got on Twitter wasn't even anything related to any media, or rather not related to video games or anime, I should say. Because there was this entire meme format of like a big book, a small book, right? And I said, Polish literature, if pot never disappeared off map, because like 80% of our literature is wanking to our martyrdom. And like, I had Polish nationalists in my benches for a month.
Would you compare a Polish nationalist to an actual Nazi?
No, they're worse. Because for like all you can say about, by actual we mean like 1939, right? Actual Nazis, at least they tried to reform the state in some way. They changed some stuff. Here it's like just full reactionism, no abortion. Also, church gets sanctioned. Jesus was actually Polish. Jesus
was actually Polish.
He's called the King of Poland by nationalists. It's the weirdest shit.
I think I missed that chapter of the Bible when I was growing up in Sunday school.
I don't know. Maybe it's in the Mormon Bible. We'll have to ask Moth.
That's true. I will ask him on the next episode. That's how I'm going to start the next episode. Hey, Moth, before Jesus came to America, did he stop in Poland? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. But we are coming today. I invited Tid on specifically because he has watched Katanagatari, and we're continuing at that. Every month we're doing an episode of this, even if I have to fucking do it by myself.
Yeah, this is the jerking episode because we like both the show, so don't expect any like counter arguments in here.
Well, I will say this. Okay, so this episode of Katanagatari, episode 2, it is one of the 4 episodes that I would consider one of the weaker episodes of Katanagatari.
Is it the first 4, or is it like specific ones?
No, Katanagatari Katanagatari is structured in a way where like every 3 episodes is an arc.
That's true.
And I think mostly the middle episodes of each is like kind of weak. This one, I actually think this is probably the strongest of them. And I'll go into more detail with that whenever like we actually cover those episodes, because
2, 5, 8, 11. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
This episode is good. It's just this is one of the most wordy episodes.
Oh yeah, it's like picnic situation.
And it's made worse by the fact that there's legitimately a character that talks backwards in this episode.
Yeah.
Which Nisio Isin kills immediately because writing that, his dialogue is atrocious.
Of course it is, yeah. When it comes to Maniwani guys, like, every time I see them, it's like, yeah, I kinda like the Gatchaman bird design, but also you're a fucking ninja. Why do you have a Gatchaman bird design? And can't stand it.
I love the Maniwani. This episode establishes an important fact about the Maniwani. They're total fucking jobbers. They do not matter.
The Jobber clan.
they job super even more hard in episode 4. Like, fuck, dude. They clock in episode 4, but in this one, like, he's on screen for 1 second, fucking dead.
Yeah, the establishes all we need. Oh, don't talk backwards. Don't talk back to me.
I am kind of upset that you don't really get to see what his ability does. I think I have the light novel somewhere. I think it actually talks a little bit about it somewhere, but I don't remember what it was. Like the fact that you don't get to see like the cool ninja ability is kind of lame, because most of these episodes you get to see what the cool ninjas do.
That's true. That is true. He was here just to job, and everything else was dialogue. Oh, since you have the light novels, I have to ask: was Shichika originally just completely fucking naked or just in a loincloth? Because the beginning of this episode, they're talking, oh, you need more clothes, you need to dress up because people give you weird looks, and then he just wears something with zero torso and just pants. And so he was more dressed before.
In the light novel, it implies that he's wearing like loincloth level clothes. Like he has
that's what I thought.
The design you see in the anime is like what the art is on the light novels. But like they're straight up like, you're a naked man. Yeah.
That makes way more sense, because giving him a shirt was a mistake then. Oh
yeah, no, he should have been shirtless the entire time. Come on, fucking. The fuck washboard abs and fucking. I'm sorry, I'm getting horny on the episode.
Calm down. I know it's your show, but calm down.
He's like 20 feet tall. He's perfect. I think
no jokes. The height difference between him and Togami is.
it's peak. Togami already is peak, but like specifically that height difference is chef kiss, baby. I love this. I do genuinely like. I do think this is one of the weaker episodes, but the stuff between Togame and Shichika, super fucking great.
Yeah,
like you get to see Togame just fucking talk, and the entire time Shichika's like, okay,
yeah, okay, I guess.
Like Shichika, like it feels like most of the time he wants to tell her to shut up and just be cute.
Yeah. Also, the scene that kind of opens the episode, they get jumped at banners. She's like, "No, you can't just fucking kill people." He's like, "Why not? What's wrong?"
Wait, and I do like that, because in Shichika's head, because it's the big theme of Katanagatari. It's that like. The name Katanagatari, sword story. It's a story about swords, but also it's the story of a sword.
Yeah.
And Shichika like thinks of himself like a tool.
Yeah.
Which is like the big climax that happens eventually. That's why that climax is so like fucking.
You're watching one episode a month, right?
Yes.
So the same way this was aired, nice. So I'm looking forward to December and Frog and Moth losing their fucking minds over the last episode. This is a foretell, a future. This is your future. You can escape.
They're gonna lose their minds, and then Frog's gonna like the very ending, and Moth's gonna hate the very ending.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I think I'm ambivalent on the ending, but of course no spoilers. It's no. I see where it's going, but I would be also much more fine if they ended a scene before that.
Yeah, no, I like that, but also that scene being in the ending, like, it gives people an excuse not to like the show.
True. Well, they're dumb people if they do that. Like 5 minutes over 12 hours.
Every single time someone's like, man, the ending was bad, so the entire thing is bad. I want to shit in my pants and throw it at them. Like, Mass Effect 3 gets a lot of shit, rightfully so. But most of that game is a really good Mass Effect game.
Yeah, well, which means it's terrible, because all Mass Effect games suck. I honestly don't know why they are so beloved. I hate these fucking games.
It's the lens flares. They hypnotize me.
Okay.
But specifically the part in this episode that makes it weaker, when Togame's just talking and they're walking in the desert to the castle where the main, like, the samurai of the episode is. And unlike the first episode where they, like, whenever they did the big exposition moment, they, like, cut to, like, oh, here's like here's what the swords look like in, like, shadowy silhouettes. Like, they use some kind of visual element. Like, this is why I 100% think the only studio that should tackle anything Nisio Isin does is Shaft.
Yeah.
Because they can actually, like, okay, this is the text dialogue, let's find a way to make it visually interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
White Fox, who made this, just, they didn't really try. They made the parts that need to look good, but, like, all the talking, they might as well be sitting in a cafe in an episode of Sword Art Online.
Yeah, could have used way more, like, visual metaphors and stuff, that is true. Shaft did this well. They should have watched Kaiji. I don't know. But and also, just back to the desert, I think that the dialogue, while it does build up to something later, the entire talk of like characterization and catchphrases and everything, I just, every time I watch this, like, is this Nisio is inventing about when he thought he was going to make a character a hermit, but then he thought, oh shit, he has no personality, what do I do?
I feel, okay, so these, the original light novels were released, like, a month apart. Mm-hmm. I feel like the first one came out, and he was still writing the second, and then everyone was like, man, Chichika sucks. And he was like, oh, you think Chichika sucks? Fuck you!
You know what, that's probably, yeah.
But, like, I do like it. Like, it creates that really good moment, where, because Chichika, total fucking himbo. Like, his brain doesn't function unless it's simple. And when she's going through the catchphrases and she just says one, he's like, sure, that one, fine.
Yeah, that works, let's leave it there.
But he takes that, like, that one's fine, and actually, like, perfectly uses it in the moment.
Yeah.
I fucking, Chichika's, like, one of the best, like, main characters, like, ever. And even better, too, if you haven't read the light novels, you have to read the light novels, because they're from his perspective, so you get a lot of his inner monologue.
Oh, it's the Himbo journals, okay.
Mm-hmm. No, it's super good. Like, in the anime, he kind of comes across, like, more apathetic than anything. Yeah. But in the light novels, it's more like he can't care more than he just doesn't care.
Okay, so it's the fate problem, basically, where you have a shitload of internal monologue, but no adaptation ever covers it, and fans won't shut the fuck up for 10 years about it.
Hey, at least it's not like the Sword Art Online issue where you have the 0.5 chapters where people fuck.
You know what? In Katanagatari I would welcome it, but...
Oh, man, I would too. There's so many good characters who could fuck in Katanagatari.
Yeah.
As long as you aren't doing the one girl, that's illegal.
Very broad strokes. Very broad strokes.
Some anime fans are about that though, so more power to them as long as they ain't committing crimes in real life.
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about a little bit though the main antagonist of the episode. God, what's his name? I always forget it.
Yaijutsu guy. That's
yes.
it.
The thing about like Katanagatari is that every single character is named after some kind of pun. Like everything's a pun in something that Nisio Isin writes.
Yeah, of course.
That's why the visual metaphor of Shaft adaptations work better, because they just, here's what the pun look like.
Gee, I wonder why the series is called Bakemono and Monogatari.
They do try to put some of the metaphor White Fox did into Katanagatari. So the main, like, antagonist of this episode, his entire thing, he's basically a Japanese nationalist.
Yep.
Literally down to the fact that he is his moves, his sword, and him are named after Japanese military phrases to refer to their suicide bombers.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Nice.
That's why whenever he goes for that first quick draw, there's the sound of a fucking fighter jet. It's super... And that's such a good attention to detail when you hear that, and you just hear like, and then and then you never see the fucking sword.
Yeah.
It's such a fucking and the specific way that like they go to the castle. It's dilapidated as fuck. They find the room he's in, and Togame like gets tricked to going in there, and then Shichika just yeets her out of the way of the quick draw.
Kicks her back, which is foreshadowing.
Listen, if you like to see women get subjugated as the tools they are, this is the episode for you.
Oh no, I don't like where this is going. But also, as you pointed out, he's basically a Japanese nationalist. He's like a traditional samurai who needs to protect his homeland, but his homeland is one castle in a desert where nobody lives. And this is just him pointlessly protecting something that has no value anymore. And this also ties into, I think, the bigger themes of Katanagatari that unfold later, especially of like fighting for no good fucking reason and people dying for no reason. And this is like part of that.
Yeah. Like, a big theme in Katanagatari is like, is pointlessness in general.
Yeah.
Like, people do things for no reason, but they justify it to themselves.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I do it for pride. Really? Yeah, I don't know. I just said that. It's just babbling. Don't mind me.
Yeah, no, like, that's like the most important theme in Katanagatari. And it gets explored in such interesting ways throughout the series. Like, there's, I was about to start throwing fucking spoilers out there. Mm-hmm. I'll hold off on that. Like, but there's the best characters in the series are the ones that don't try to justify the things they do.
Sure.
Like, Shichika. Shichika, like, never tries to justify the things they do. And the first moment where it looks like he has conviction, he doesn't. It's so good! But yeah, the confrontation in this episode's great, because they have to figure out, it's basically, a lot of fights in Katanagatari are basically JoJo battles.
Yeah, that's true. They need to figure out how to get there and how to do that. And of course, Shichika's first plan is the best one. Okay, Togame, you enter, he kills you, and when he dumps your body, then I ambush him. Perfect plan.
And she's like, yeah, great plan. Hey, wait a minute! And then the second plan is great, because he's just... It's great because he has a plan A and a plan B, and the entire time she's like, "Hey, Togame, just stand behind me, and that's all you need to do. I'll protect you." People. This is great because this goes back to the thing we said. Yeah. He says to her, "People who have something to protect are strong."
Yeah,
and that's him creating a fake justification for her. So that she, like, has a reason to believe the words he says. But he's like, nah. Like, later, later when his plan fails, and he goes to plan B, where
he needs something to kick back from a wall, and the gamma is right behind him, and she gets kicked in the face.
He literally fucking jump kicks off of her fucking face to get above him to fucking slash down on top of him. And she's like, hey, why'd you do that? And he's like, I told you to stand behind me. She's like, I thought, people who have something to protect are strong. It's like, that was just bullshit. It's like, yes! The themes of the show manifesting!
Just bullshit. The best theme.
It's so fucking good. Like, until you brought that up, like, I had never even occurred to me that this moment is so central to the show. I have now elevated this episode in my mind as being less bad than what I thought.
The other three, yeah, that's fair. Also, on the topic of what happens in this episode, kind of anachronistically, but just the fact that Shichika is still unaccustomed to people, so he needs to get used to Togame by wrapping himself in her hair and just getting used to her smile and everything. He's like, yes, thank you, Nisha.
Yeah, when they're doing that, and he's like, "Can I bite you?" And he's like, "No, you can't bite me." And he's like, "Well, can I lick you?" He's like, well, "Yeah, that's fine."
Yeah, that's fine.
I love. I just adore Shichika. He's one of my favorite characters in all of fiction. Like, he's just so interesting. Like, he doesn't do anything because he thinks he should do it.
That's true.
And that sounds boring, but the way the show is and the story is written, it comes across as like you feel like specifically the things he's doing are like, oh, that's him, that's where he's at. But no, he's literally he's a sword, he's a tool, and he's being used.
Yeah, but anything less like a stereotypical bodyguardee story with, I don't know, a mafia princess and her hard-boiled cop that needs to protect her and whatever, would fall into the same archetype, but it gets boring because the guy always gets all the personality because, of course, that's where you have to relate to. It's guys reading this, come on. But with Katanagatari, they figured, okay, what if the guy was actually just a sword and it was the girl where all the characterization fell to, at least initially. And that really elevated that story for me, I think. Because it was interesting, and I loved both of them by the end.
Yeah, and then like the entire well, I was about to go into spoilers again. Fuck. It's really hard. It's hard to talk about the show with someone who has already seen it because I just want to keep going.
Yeah, control your dick, Mike, please.
It's the places where like episode 4 is so insane.
Yeah. Oh god, I remember. A friend of mine who recommended me Katanagatari told me, "Oh yeah, be sure to watch all the episode previews, especially for the 4th episode, because there's some material that isn't used." And I was, "Oh, that's cool."
I literally told that to Moth and Frog after
the
episode.
I heard that
because like it doesn't matter. Like once you reach that, it stops mattering as much.
Yeah,
but like that's the moment.
That's true. Okay, but a small disclaimer to anyone that doesn't want to be as hurt as me. Watch the previews for every episode, except the final one. They botched that one, honestly.
Yes. Don't watch the preview for episode 11. Just don't. Oh, man. I love Katanagatari. I'm so glad we're doing this. It took me forever to get them to agree to watching this, and now I think they're just dodging. Honestly, they just don't want to keep watching.
Bastards! You bastards!
Don't worry. I told both of them that they still have to fucking watch it because if not, they're going to be lost for the 3rd episode. Which
that is true.
3rd episode's one of my favorites. I'm looking forward to getting to that one.
Which one was that? The armor? Yeah.
That's the 3rd episode is 1,000 Swords.
Oh, right. 5th was the armor. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one as well.
The armor is another one of the weak ones.
I liked it because just the basic concept. I think this was really like the most justified to me. I was like, oh shit, how is he gonna handle that? And I like the resolution.
I agree. The fact that like this entire series is Shichika like just burying his power level because if he lets it go, he will break everything.
Yeah.
That's like in the 1st episode. Like it's really easy to miss whenever he goes to like catch the unbreakable sword. He never says I couldn't break it. He says it was stronger than I thought it would be.
Yeah. Also, I add one more thing I liked about this episode. It just poses the obvious questions right at first. Wait, a sword that can break, a sword that cuts everything. What if they clash? And they're like, oh yeah, one was made later, so it's better. Shut up.
Yeah, I like that one too, because it's like, instead of Tagame being like, trying to like pose it actually like philosophically, she's like, no, whichever one's stronger, you idiots. Yeah.
Something will happen. Well, if you put an unmovable object and an unstoppable force to each to it will turn out that one of these things is not. That's it.
But yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything about the 2nd episode of Katanagatari.
Yeah, quite honestly, visually there is not much. Like half of this episode is walking through a desert.
But that last half of the episode is just really good.
Yeah, it's a really good fight. I really like how they approach it. Also, just the villain's design. Like, it's very basic, but it's also very conveying, I don't know the adjective here, to what he is and how he stands. And, like, exactly everything about this guy the moment you see him. And that's great. That's good visual design.
He's a perfect, like... He like most of the villains, not all of them, but most of the villains in this show, they look like they would be the main characters of a different anime.
Oh yeah, totally. This is always something that I really appreciate in a show, if it has elements that are common, and you get used to them. But then you think about them, a lesser series would kill to have one of these. And this is every fucking minute. To a bit of a tangent, but also that's all what I want to talk about in Utena, because they reuse a lot of footage, but the level of visual metaphors and language in this series is minute by minute so good that a typical show would kill to have one scene as good as this shit has every episode. It's killing me.
And
that was your obligatory shilling. Yeah, go on.
No, you're fine. I really need to get into Utena. My buddy Roos watched it, and he was like, "Hey, you've obviously seen Katanagatari. You've obviously seen Utena." And I was like, "No, I have not." And he was so I got him. Everything that he got really into is because I got him into something. I got him more into anime. The only reason he even played Dark Souls is because I made him play the first Dark Souls game.
Mike, a force of good.
And he got into Kamen Rider because I was like, "Hey, you'd probably like this." But he always becomes a bigger fan than me of the things I show him.
Oh, these people are the worst. They're the best, but the worst.
No, I love him to death. So when I got him into anime, and really into anime, because most people casually watched it, but really into it, he was like, "You haven't seen Utena?" And I was like, "No, I'm sorry."
A friend of mine once summed up after I finished Utena that Utena is the Evangelion for lesbians and trans women, and I'm like, I'm neither of these, but I can see that. I was also not a depressed teenager, but I still liked Evangelion, so hey. Periphery demographics, as they say.
I feel like all the people who have bad takes about Evangelion, if you made them watch Utena, they would have the opposite takes. They would love it.
I don't know about that, maybe. But also, a lot of bad takes about Evangelion Shinji especially are centering about this really weird preconception that it's about attacking the audience, whereas I remember Anno himself in the interview told people to shut the fuck up because they don't have a heart, and was like, yeah, exactly.
I think it's so weird when someone has it's an anti-otaku movie.
Yeah.
How can you think that when a third of Japan's economy is based on Eva merch?
Yeah. Not even just that, but the fact that if it was supposed to be anti-otaku, maybe portray Shinji as an otaku and not somebody that lacks any interests. Try. It's not hard.
It's less anti-otaku and more pro. If you're depressed, you could still live.
Yeah. And or just, there are people around you, even if you are afraid of contacting them, you can try. They do care about you, we promise.
Oh, I get so upset whenever I see the bad opinions that exist about Eva, because people will be like, "Oh, the symbolism isn't deep." When the entire, granted, with the religious symbolism, yeah, that's surface level. Fucking that's surface level.
It is.
But the entire show is an exercise in the concept of the Hedgehog's Dilemma, and there's even an episode named after it, and people will brush that off.
And they directly address it, and it was not in the manga, so I was really surprised when I watched the anime. Because my first contact with Evangelion was the manga, because my internet was horrible when I lived in my parents' house, so scans are easier to download than episodes, so hey. Also, it's a really good manga adaptation. I recommend it.
You know what? I'll read that, because the only Evangelion manga I read, so in the last few episodes of Evangelion, they show that alternate life where they're just normal school kids.
Yeah. Alternative universe, yeah.
I read the manga that's based off that.
Well, that's cool.
It's really weird because they still have Evas and angels are attacking and shit, but actual teenage angst and love triangles between Rei, Asuka, and Shinji. It's so weird.
That reminds me of that Newsgrounds visual novel. Dating sim. Oh, that was a classic. I played that before I watched Evangelion. I was so confused, but I still played it.
Oh man, Evangelion, dude.
Also on the topic of religious symbolism, it is very surface level, but at the same time, I feel 96, especially in Japan, was the height of belief in New Age bullshit and aliens and everything. So it was very culturally apt. It's just nowadays religion. Who cares?
Yeah, like people. There are so many people in the fucking world. Like, and I'm sure you've encountered this since you do media on video games. It's especially bad in the video game sphere. Who will just be like, "No, you're this obvious thing that's right there in front of me doesn't exist. You're reading into it too hard." It's like people will talk about video games, and this is what I've been thinking about lately. Sorry, you just opened up a Pandora's box.
Go on.
People talk about video games and anime characters as if they are real events or real people, and they can't grasp the idea that human beings wrote this with intention.
Yep. Almost as if people can be inspired by things around them and what's happening to create fiction that is a way to cope with that, or maybe portray it to someone else who is not into that. I wonder.
It's so obvious, and these people are just like have the tiny little fucking edamame brains, and it's just like Uzaki-chan isn't real. She's not a real She's not a real person. She's not
the real anime girl you were about to say.
No, I was working on an Uzaki-chan video recently. Okay. But like, she's not a real person. You can't just say, I've seen people like that, and you can't like discount the fact that the camera in the show is always looking at her from a top-down perspective with her tiny little childlike limbs. She looks like a fucking boy with balloons in their shirt. And you're just like,
I generally don't mind Uzaki-chan. I'm not going to watch it. It looks like way outside of my taste in every aspect, but her design is, as you said yourself, I've seen small people. I can deal with that, and the humor is not my budge from what I've seen. So yeah, thank you.
I will say, I don't think the manga is like amazing or anything, but it is a lot better than the show. Like, okay. I've read most of the manga. I actually was a fan of Uzaki-chan. I was looking forward to that anime.
Well, I'm sorry for you then.
It's real bad. Dude, here's the deal. In the manga, she's totally a short stack. Like, the proportions are completely different.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
It is. Like, you see, like, there's a panel where she's in a swimsuit, and she has curves. She looks like a woman, and it's just like, no, now I can't be horny for Uzaki-chan without the fear that someone will call me a pedophile.
You could always be horny in disguise. I don't know how that would work, but you could try.
Hey, exactly. That's the thing, though. If I'm horny for a guy and they're short and have childlike proportions, people will call me a pedophile and no one will question it. No one will. But you slap big boobs on that guy and suddenly it's a cultural touchstone we have to defend. Otherwise, the SJWs will take back the white race.
Oh my god, I just imagine a short stack himbo. I want to see that actually. I'm not gay or bisexual, but I think that's a good character design. Somebody make it, please.
You just fucking murdered me. I hate you. Oh my god, a short stack himbo. Oh no, those are bara titties too. Those would totally be bara titties.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You said a boy with a tits, and I was wait.
I'm just imagining Jotaro, but like wide.
Yeah, the teenager Jotaro.
Like, just take that one Jotaro Kakuin clamp dojin and just make it wide.
That's not where I was going, but okay.
With that, I think this has been a shorter episode of the We Hate Anime podcast.
It has been quite short. Yeah, we're taking it 1 hour here. But you know what's, if you don't want to finish, still on the topic of like people thinking that media is real life or that nothing is ever political. A friend of mine had a guy slide into his mentions recently because when talking with me, he said, yeah, people like keep saying that, oh, games used to not be political, and then use Fallout or Metal Gear Solid as examples. And he instantly gets fucking someone in mentions, oh yeah, so if Tetris is political, like, God fucking damn it.
I mean, it's very easy to point out that, Tetris was created by a Russian man, and like there actually is like Russian nationalist like themes even to the music of Tetris.
Oh, yeah, it was made by Alexei Pajitnov. The music used is an 8-bit cover of a Russian folk song. In the original Game Boy game, there was the Kreble in the background. This fucking colorful abomination. But yeah. It's cultural more than political, I would say. But at the same time, it is art and it taps into something in us. So if you stretch, I think you could say it's political.
Yeah, I would argue that like the line between something that's cultural and political is there a government body in the way, really?
Yeah, for real. I think that like the argument in general is very in bad faith because don't mention politics. The politics govern our lives. What the fuck am I supposed to talk about? I am living right now.
And those same people who say shit like don't make X, Y, or Z political are the same people that spend most of their time watching Sargon of the COD videos and the quartering.
Why did you remind me these people exist? I was thinking for moments ago.
Listen, I need you to understand. This is cursed knowledge. I was a fan of both of them. Sargon for longer. I was a fan of the quartering when the quartering first launched his video game thing. And I was like, I literally supported it with the belief that for the same reason I supported, like, cause my political, like, compass just fucking spins around. I was very much a feminist type person, in 2012, and I supported Anita Sarkeesian, back then.
Yeah.
And then, like, when the quartering was like, basically trying to do a thing for video games, and it's like, it's gonna be fair, and I was a chud at the time, so I was like, it's gonna be like the good Anita Sarkeesian. And then, like, he just uses his platform to talk about how Brie Larson, isn't sexy enough for him.
Oh god. I don't even know anything about his content, but anytime I see this fucking avatar, I know it's going to be some shit take.
It's always the worst. Just like more recently on Twitter, that Black Sage dude.
Oh yeah. Well, if it's not for Volt Tech, people would be dead. And he also did the gatekeeping in anime thing, right now. Yeah. If you only watch these 25 shows, you can't call yourself an anime fan, dude. What am I supposed to call myself then?
Someone had a profile picture that was like, it was solid. It was Big Boss Solid Snake.
Yeah.
But like in like black and white colors. And he just retweeted them and said, Che Guevara profile picture, opinion discarded.
Also, before anyone uses this clip as ammunition against me that I only watch Naruto shit, I watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes. Fuck you, I have immunity.
No, you've watched shit I haven't watched, and I'm a fucking giant fucking weeaboo trash garbage person.
Yeah. Well, I've probably also never watched shit that you watched, so, you know. Human lifespan is limited, and we live the same amount of years, so we have each other covered.
That's true. You've definitely not watched Fruits Basket. I was trying to think of something deeper than that, but that's where my mind went. Fruits Basket.
Actually, I haven't, so you're right.
But with that, I think this has been the We Hate Anime podcast.
Hey.
Why don't you plug your plugs, your Twitters, your YouTubes, whatever you want to plug, man?
Well, thanks for listening. If you're still not tired of my voice, you can find me on YouTube at Tiduidus Last Minute Essays. I recently made a video about Cyberpunk 2077, so you might find that. You can also find me on Twitter at CuteMutePrude, CMPR, big letters. Yeah.
Obviously the links to his socials will be in the description. You can follow me at AnnieMiker on Twitter, and if you're listening to my voice, then you already know that I have a podcast, so I don't need to plug anything else.
Oh, really?
oh, wait, I do have I never plug it. There's the Fist of Film Reel podcast.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there too in May, so watch out.
Oh, man, which episode are you going to be on?
Hardcore Henry.
Hardcore. I look forward. Listen, the next episode of the fucking Fist of Femra podcast, we're doing Rambo 2.
Yeah, have fun with that.
I've already watched it. I literally, my brain can't handle the amount of boring that movie is. So you just mentioning that Hardcore Henry is a film that exists, my neurons just activated at the thought that there is something good in this world.
Of course it's good. It's a Russian movie. Come on.
But yeah, I want to thank you for coming on. It was pretty short notice. Not super short, but...
Thank you for having me. That was fun.
No problem. Tid, anytime you want to come on, you're welcome. You have a spot on this podcast. Granted.
Well, you remember.
Maybe, you know what? We'll probably do Lane or Utana someday, and we'll have you on, because I'm gonna need you to beat down Moth's awful brainworms about anything vaguely artsy.
Oh no! Oh, this is going to be hell. I'm going to enjoy that.
Like, Moth is gonna be like, man, that dude that she doesn't want to get with in Utana, that dude's fucking based. I don't know what's the deal. He's like a good guy.
We'll see. We'll see.
Anyway, everyone, thank you for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful night, and goodbye.